Worsening Oroville Dam crisis, will it become the worst disaster in U.S. history? Later tonight, the first of 3 major storms will hit the Oroville area. Will the Oroville Dam hold? We collectively pray that it does. During the present crisis, and largely due to the fact that Paul Preston and I were among the first to report on this, we have both attracted people, in an official capacity, who want the truth to be told, even if they must keep their names secret in the process. Subsequently, I have managed to establish a number of off-the-record and on-the-record contacts in this process. In this video, I am going to present 3 scenarios that are highly representative of the 3 major viewpoints of this crisis, which I am labeling the good, the bad and the ugly. The good. The following account represents the best-case scenario regarding the present structural integrity of the dam. This information is derived from the former professional contact of the author of the following communication. As far as knowledgeable people, with regard to the present crisis, this is the most optimistic projection of what lies ahead for the 2 million people living between the Oroville Dam and Sacramento. Dave, thank you so much for your reports. My background: your report on Oroville Dam hits home for me. I lived in Oroville for about 7 years. I was the county executive director for the Department of Agriculture, Farm Service Agency for Butte County. Yes, this is huge rice-growing area and large acreage of nut and fruit orchards in the Yuba and Sutter counties, in harm's way if the dam breaks. Butte has huge orchard acres too, but is north of the dam, so they would not be affected. I worked with most of the farmers there and feel for them. I love our farmers and believe they are the back that is barely holding up our nation. And their backs are breaking under the load. U.S. younger guys who wanted to farm never got the chance since it took too much capital to get started. There are thousands of us that would love to replace our dads and grandparents on our farms, but it's almost impossible to make it work. I hold the government and corporate monopolies responsible for the dying of the American family farmer. Inside report on the dam. I wanted to give you some inside feedback. I have been concerned about my friends around Oroville and have been calling them. I'm currently living back where I grew up, here in Idaho. I talked with one of my friends who are close to those working on fixing the dam. I received a good report from him. The hole that is eroding is better than they thought. The projected rate of flow coming from the next storms is less than the last one. Also, they will have the water level down about 50 by the time the rainstorm hits, so there is enough capacity to handle the new runoff based on weather predictions. Bottom line is, it seems, they may have barely got out of this major disaster for now. He also said there is major work that needs to be done to get it repaired. I think they are not out of the woods since there is a lot rainy season left, but maybe they will get through this without a failure. I agree that it would be wise to move to higher ground and assess after this week. I have relayed that to people I know down there. Also, he said there was some looting in Oroville right at first, but as of now no new looting. Oroville has surrounded the wagons and community leaders, police and all have done a good job to take care of my second hometown. He said I would be proud of the way they pitched in and are getting through this. Inspired the evil SEA leadership, good, hard-working, local normal people are holding back the evil. It causes me grief to hear how the lack of SEA state leadership has put millions of people in harm's way. I emailed your link to many of my contacts. Thank you again for your diligent research for the truth. Mark Moorer. Remember, I am charactering the previous account as representative of the most optimistic viewpoint with regard to the structural integrity of the dam. Yet, even in this most optimistic account, Mr. Maurer expresses some doubt as to whether the dam can survive, not just the next 3 storms which will point the area in the next 6 days, but whether the dam will survive the entire rainy season. And even in this optimistic account, the people should be moved to higher ground. The bad. The following account is typical of what I am getting from people who purport to have the background and experience to make informed projections regarding the saving of the Oroville Dam. Dear Mr. Hodges, I have been reading and listening to your accounts about the very serious situation involving the very serious situation here at the Oroville Dam. First, The two spillways are nearly useless in terms of providing relief to the dam. The dam is totally on its own and there is at the present moment nothing that can be done to improve this situation. As falsely advertised, we have not been able to bring the water levels down 50 feet, which has been our goal since the onset. I would bet that this dam is going to fail. I am not sure that it will fail in the face of the upcoming storms. Over time, this dam will fail, and I think this dam will do so before end of winter. I have witnessed many heated debates about the potential need to evacuate the people who would be in the path of the oncoming waters should the dam fail. I can tell you there are two major camps. The locals think an evacuation is needed for at least 10 days so we can see how the dam is going to react to the upcoming storms. Brown's people from the water department disagree and think that we are overreacting. It is clear to us that the state organizations are protecting Brown's ass and the safety of the people be damned. Brown's people are replacing the locals and are making decisions which should be reserved for the local sheriff to make based on the reports we provide to him. Brown's people are now in the way of public safety. If this dam breaks, there will be towns that will disappear and they will not come back. I have seen 3 projections which I think we should be preparing for since so many lives are at risk. If the dam breaks, the water would reach between 35 to 50 feet high coming out of the dam. I have seen a computer scenario which states that the water would reach Sacramento in less than 2 hours. That is not enough time to evacuate. This has elements of the perfect storm because of the condition of the flood control elements in Sacramento, which is a disaster. We should have expanded the evacuation area and it should have included Sacramento. I cannot project the loss of life, but I think your figures represent the worst case scenario, but they are realistic. Please do not publish my name or email. Call me Ben. I will have more to say if you keep my name out of your reports. 2:17 a.m. Pacific. The Ugly. I am reliant on people who want to tell their story and subsequently contact me, in regard to what they know about the condition of the dam, and what a breach would represent. Paul Preston is local and has the advantage of being able to speak directly with several experts. Based on this decided advantage, I conducted a brief interview with Paul based upon his personal observations and professional opinions of these with whom he has contact with. You will hear in the following brief interview that Paul's sources believe that the dam may not survive the upcoming wall of storms. Further, you will hear that politics has reared its ugly head in the midst of this crisis when the emphasis should be on saving lives.
Well, a number of things are going on. We're expecting the storms are turning out. They're going to be rolling in here on, looks like starting tomorrow, Thursday. We got a little bit of a rain today, but starting on Thursday and then Friday, then picking up big time steam on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. For about the next 7 days, we're expecting what's called by Anthony Watt, one of our big weather reporters around here, a super soaker. That's going to bring anywhere from what we were beginning to think about 5 inches of rain, anywhere between 7 and 11 inches of rain right into the Oroville area in Northern California. And this is not good. This is not good information. So that's one of the big things. The other big thing is that today Jerry Brown pulled off the non-union workers from the Oroville site, the ones that have been saving the dam and doing really yeoman's work. Since this whole thing happened, they were pulled off to be replaced by unionized workers from Sacramento. So that doesn't really sit well with the population around here, but that's what Jerry Brown wants. And, of course, he's the governor. He's trying to direct traffic now after he's absolutely a failed governor at this point. Nothing will redeem him from this mega disaster that's about to happen. The repairs on the dam are not really fulfilled like a lot of people thought. The dropping of the water is not occurring like the Department of Water or the Water Resources people predicted. That is not happening. There's still going to be a lot of water that's going to be remaining behind the dam, and it's certainly putting pressure on the emergency spillway dam structure, which has been really suspect. But now we got another problem in that the main spillway is actually the concrete chute, if you will, that was ruptured to begin with. Well, it's continued to rupture, and in fact, what it's doing now is, because of the velocity of the water, is just tearing up the concrete. It's starting to creep up towards it, the dam itself, and it's starting to act like a buzzsaw on the side of the mountain and gouging out large chunks of the mountain that it's sitting on. So this thing is creeping up towards the actual dam structure itself. At some point in time, they're going to have to turn off the spillway there, because it will endanger the actual dam structure. So they've got a lot of problems. They've got more reports from people that are on the ground. One of the reports said today at 2:38 Pacific time from a source on the ground that they said that there's a 30% possibility right now, right today at that time at 2:38 p.m. Pacific, that there would be a significant failure of the emergency spillway dam. So they're sitting at 30% this afternoon, and nothing seemed to have gotten better by the time I got home and started making calls about 4 hours later.